listening to the MMA Brothers Podcast, coming to you from Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Your source for UFC news, previews, and post-fight coverage. Hosted by your favorite duo, Daryl and Asher. Let's get it started.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the MMA Brothers. Right now, it's just one MMA brother. The other MMA brother has some technical difficulties, but my name is Asher, and today I have a guest with him. His name is Michael. What's up, Michael?
What up, Asher? Always a pleasure.
Yep. So we're Canadians repping UFC right now. He is from DarkHorseMMA. Did I say that correctly?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Well, you can find him at, what's your Instagram?
At DarkHorseMMA.
Yeah,
Nice
at
and simple.
DarkHorseMMA, and he also has a YouTube channel. So he also talks previews. He talks UFC. He's a mastermind with this stuff, and we're collaborating here, and we're gonna talk some UFC. So what we're going to talk about today is we're going to be talking about future fights or current fights for every UFC champion in the division. So we're going to talk male and female from 125 or 115 if you're talking female, all the way up to heavyweight, right? So we can first start with the 115 straw weights. So Weili Zhang, she's a champion in that division. Who do you want to see her fight next?
Rose Namajunas.
Yeah.
Without a doubt, especially with Rose's last fight against Jessica Andrade, who was the former champ. The way she looked, she was tough. It's a scary fight for Rose because Weili is a scary woman. She's got some serious power. She's got some crazy skill sets. Definitely Rose Namajunas. If not Rose, I'll go Joanna rematch because that was the fight of the year for 2020. That was probably the only positive of 2020 we got. But no, I'm leaning towards Rose for sure right now.
100%. For me, I would be saying the same thing. Rose deserves it because she beat Andrade in her last fight. And Andrade, she was beating Andrade in that fight until she got pile drived to the ground.
Yeah.
And I even though technically that's legal, I thought like they need to get rid of that shit. Like this is not, this is not the prehistoric days, like, Pride or whatever and stuff. Like you can't be doing stuff like that,
that was scary.
Yeah, it was super scary. And I saw that and I remember screaming, I was like, yo, like that shit's legal. You can do that. And they're like, yeah, you can. And I'm like, nah, like that should be illegal for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, she was winning that fight against Andrade and she was champ at the time and she beat Andrade the second time, even though it did get a little dicey for her in the third round. She deserves another title shot, even though Joanna, I think that was a split decision victory for Weili, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think it was unanimous.
Yeah,
right?
It has to be.
Yeah. So either one of those two I'm cool with as well.
All day for sure.
And so next we got 125, Valentina Shevchenko champ. Who do you want to see her go up against?
It doesn't matter.
Pretty much.
It doesn't matter. She's gonna smash everyone she faces. I actually said in like one of like my first podcasts for the Dark Horse MMA, I said that she's gonna beat Demetrius Johnson's title defense record because she is so skilled and her division is, no disrespect, but like it's such a huge gap between her and like the even the number one contender, like Caitlin Jakugian or whatever her name is. She smashed her. Like it's just there's no like who would I want her to see? I mean, like I don't even know who some of these girls are too. Like to be honest, like,
no, I feel you, bro. Because like
you know what I mean. Like
yeah, I was gonna say for me, it's just like anyone, like you said, anyone that they put up against her, especially in the 125 division, she's gonna smoke. Like Valentina Shevchenko is so good that she's fought Amanda Nunes twice and like lost. I think it was a split decision or like it wasn't like a domination on Nunes's part. And Valentina Shevchenko is much smaller than Nunes, right? So she's just that good. And yeah, for me, I guess one more thing before I forget. When she knocked out Jessica, I literally thought Jessica died. I was like, yo, is she still alive? Like it was literally that scary. I was like, yo,
that's a bullet. That's why they call her the bullet.
That head kick was vicious. So anyone that they put up against her, it doesn't really matter. So
it's basically like, okay, are you ready to get knocked out, or are you like which one do you want to get kicked in the face first? Like it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like we were both gonna get it. I actually saw her fight live against Joanna. Yeah, that was crazy. I saw her fight live at Scotiabank when Max, it was the Max Holloway Ortega fight,
That's
fight card.
that's dope. I haven't been
That was
to.
crazy.
Sorry, someone just calling me in the background. Can you hear that? Can you hear the beeps?
No, we're
No?
good. We're good.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So yeah, I've been to a UFC event. I never got the chance to go to one in Toronto, but I went to the one in Ottawa. It was, I think, Wonder Boy versus Rory McDonald. So this was years ago.
Oh, okay,
And
cool,
that was
cool.
yeah, that was the only UFC event I've been to.
Nice.
And I remember when I
Nice.
was buying the tickets online, it was, I think it was on Kijiji, and like I called the person that had the tickets, some lady that didn't really understand UFC. So I don't know if she got them as like a gift or something.
Oh, she
Cause
probably like won them or something for sure.
yeah, because like
I
when
would
we
not
got
sell
there,
that.
yeah, she sold the tickets, and then she didn't really know what she was talking about. And then I'm like, oh yeah, like I'm coming from Toronto. She's like, why are you coming from Toronto? And I'm like, I don't know, because I want to see the show. Like, you know what I mean? Like, she was so
Because I'm a fan.
yeah, I know. And I'm like, why are you making this weird, man? I
It's
just
like
give you the
you want to
ticket.
see people. You want to see people punch each other in the face and kick each other in the face. Like,
And
what's
I'm
wrong with
like,
you? Like nothing. What's wrong
yes,
with you?
yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like
Side
you're the
note,
weirdo here.
yeah, side note, like what is it like going to a UFC event? Because for me, it was super weird. Some of the people in the crowd were just like not people I was vibing with, you know what I mean?
Um, so I've been twice. Both times I saw Max Holloway fight. The first one was him against Pettis, and then the second one was him against Ortega, which is a crazy fight.
Yeah.
I have to say, because fucking fighting, it's like such a passion of mine, and I love it so much. I say it all the time. Like those 2 nights were the best nights of my life. Like so clear cut, like like there's no other, I can't even think of anything that can compare to it. It's just the crowd, like the people I sat next to were like awesome. Like we were like bumping into each other, like the guys on like the bench and like the Lakers or whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like if there's
yeah.
a crazy
Like,
dunk.
yo,
Yeah,
like,
yeah, it's what I'm
yeah,
saying. We're like, oh shit.
yeah, yeah,
You know, when there's like crazy knockouts, we actually the first event I saw, there was like the KO of the year. It was like Lando Venata. It was like a spinning wheel kick KO, fucking
Mm,
crazy. That was one of like the first fights of the night too. But
yeah,
it's unbelievable. It's such a crazy atmosphere, and like the crowd like, woo, the Ric Flair stuff, you know.
yeah,
No, it was unbelievable, and I highly recommend it to anyone who has not been 100%.
yeah. And how
It's
close?
worth the price. It's worth the price.
How close were you to the octagon?
I was the first fight. I was like on the third level, but it was like actually a perfect view because you could see above the octagon, so there wasn't a
Mm,
cage in the way. But
right.
then the second fight was even cooler. It's kind of like on top of like the second level. So it was kind of perfect with you can kind of still see on top of it. I actually have a video on my Instagram I can send you too, which is pretty cool. Of like Max Holloway PC and Brian Ortega, which is pretty cool. No, yeah. So the second time was a really good seats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's dope. For me, I guess like I don't know, I wasn't too far away, but like I was kind of like in the last section, and
Mm.
just the guys I was with were just like idiots and stuff, and they're kind of like pissing
Oh
me
yeah,
off. I'm just
yeah,
trying to enjoy, but like these guys are just like making the show worse for
yeah,
me. So, but
yeah,
other
yeah,
than
yeah.
that, I just think I haven't been to a good UFC event. I'm sure, and maybe next time Toronto has one, then I gotta show up. But yeah, so that's Valentina Shevchenko, and then who do we have next? Amanda Nunes, obviously at 135 and 145. Holly Holm just won recently, so I'm sure she's gonna be asking for like her 10th title shot, whatever it is. I've lost count of
Yeah,
when
I
she has
know,
title
right?
shots,
Yeah,
right? Um,
yeah.
and yeah, Amanda Nunes has pretty much beat everyone, like almost every former champ that the division has had, she's been through. So I think she's fighting Megan Anderson next, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, yes.
So I guess yeah, whatever. That one should be an easy win for her. And then maybe Holly Holm if she gets one more win or she's still lingering around once she's
Mhm.
done with that fight.
I think Holly Holm should rematch Jermaine. I think that'd be perfect with the way both of especially Jermaine. I think Jermaine's actually with her evolution of her ground game. I just recorded a podcast yesterday talking about it, just going over like the main card results, and you know the fact that she's able to recognize the Von Flute choke when she uh, passed her guard into side control and she still had that hook in. Um, yeah, I don't know. I think Jermaine's a problem. I feel like she beats Holly again, but I feel like Holly looked better than what she really did because Irene kind of was just charging in her, kind of chasing her, didn't really cut off angles. But I think Holly Holm and Jermaine rematch, and then the winner gets head kicked again against Amanda Nunes.
That's a good way to put it. When it
You
gets
know what I mean? It's just like
yeah.
crazy.
The thing is, I remember watching the home Durandamy fight, and side note, actually, in her last fight, I've never seen Holly so aggressive, because usually she's like a counter
Yeah,
striker and kind of like chills a
yeah,
bit,
yeah.
but she was
Touches,
just
yeah.
throwing so much against Aldana, and I was like, wow, like hopefully she continues doing
It's like
that.
she had
She's
something to prove,
38.
yeah. And she's
Yeah.
38,
I
yeah.
know she's not getting any younger, and that was one of her best performances. So against Durandamy the first time, she did get cracked with a punch after the bell, if I'm not mistaken, and when
Yes,
a point should
yes, I
have been
forgot
taken
about
away
that.
for that.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
because she did lose, I think by 1 point on each like scorecard. So
Yes,
if that
yeah,
point was
yeah.
taken away, it would have been a draw or like a win for Holly. But yeah, I
Mhm.
think we both agree with who the next opponents are going to be for Nunes. So next we're going to talk about 125. So we can kind of like go through these fast because there's many divisions we have to go through. So
Yeah,
125
yeah, let's do it.
men's division. Figueiredo, I thought he killed Benavides. Like, I've never seen a more dominant first round ever in my life. I was really watching him like, yo, this guy's gonna die in the octagon today. It's gonna be the first UFC death.
Well, dude, yeah, and that picture after of him choking him out and like his face was like, oh, that was scary. But yeah, no, it's funny because I actually put money on Benavides. I don't know who,
Oh
someone
my
like kind of
god.
convinced me, and I saw that fight. I'm like, this is probably the worst. I'm probably having a worse time than fucking Benavides right now because I put money on this guy. It
Oh
wasn't
my
even a lot of
god.
money or anything. It was just like a few bucks, but I was just like, holy shit. I was like, oh my god, I was so wrong with that. But yeah,
Yeah, no, legit. I was just
and
watching the fight,
yeah,
just covering my mouth. I'm like, holy, I've never seen a more
violent
yeah.
man for flyweight,
Oh my
crazy. Yeah,
god. So yeah, he was
um,
supposed to fight Cody Garbrandt next, right? And
yeah,
that fight fell through, and so I forget the name of the opponent. Alex
Alex
Perez.
Perez.
Yeah.
Yes,
So he's fighting him.
yes.
I got Figueiredo. Like the way this guy fights, like there's no way he's losing anytime soon.
Nasty standing up and some crazy jujitsu and like that was shown in the Benavides fight. Yeah, no. So yeah, we'll see. Hopefully Cody gets that fight after Figueiredo takes Perez's head off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
135. Who's the champion 135 right now? We have
Petra
Peter
Yan.
Yan. Yeah, you got Yan.
Yeah.
And he beat the brakes off of Aldo. By the way, referees, man, like I don't know what you're seeing sometimes with some of these late stoppages, but like again, I was screaming. I'm like, man, do you want to see Aldo die?
That guy
Like,
was dead. He was dead. He was like, just like the guy was covered like and literally in a pool of his own blood, not moving, and he was just raining down shots.
and
That
like
was
the
like
commentators were saying, like, what? This is not intelligent defense. Like, what is the referee looking for here? I
he's
don't understand.
turtling. He's
Yeah.
turtling. He's not doing it. He's not
Jan
moving.
even turned around and looked at him. He's like, yo, ref, like when is this gonna stop? You know,
And
like
Jan's Russian. Like Russians don't give a fuck, man.
yeah,
Like you know what I mean?
yeah.
And Dana White too. Like they, I think ESPN has like some show where it's like behind the scenes stuff, and he was even saying he's like my phone's getting blown up from like so many people about this ref, and he's like this ref needs to be fired. I don't know which ref that was too. I'm so curious about that. I gotta fact check that. But yeah, no,
Oh,
that was ridiculous. That was ridiculous.
100% ridiculous. But anyways, we have
Mhm.
Aljo. Apparently, Dana. I don't know why Dana has been hesitant to give him a title shot because he's
Yeah,
asked many
yeah,
times. He's like, yeah, I don't know,
yes.
we'll see. And I'm like, dude, just give it to him.
And that was
Why?
after he choked the fuck out of Corey Sandhagen in like a minute.
I
He's like, yeah,
know.
I don't know. What do you
I'm
mean you
like,
don't
what do
know?
you mean? I didn't
What is he
understand
supposed
that.
to do? What is he supposed to do? Beat up the ref too? Like what? It's like what?
I didn't understand it at all. So,
Yeah.
anyways, we have this weekend Marlon Moraes versus Corey Sandhagen. So, hopefully, Dana doesn't pull a fast one and says, well, yeah, the winner of this fight's getting the next title shot because people are going to get pissed off. I'm like, man, you got to stop that shit, you know? But yeah, Aljo deserves it. Do you agree?
Oh, oh man, 100,000%. There's no chance he does it, man. I want to see that guy get the strap too. Like I love his personality. He's a cool guy.
Yeah,
Yeah, all day.
100%.
Aljo all day. Yeah.
100%. So 145, we had Max Holloway as the people's champ because a lot of people say he beat
Yeah.
Volkanovski in that fight. I
Yes.
was actually surprised that Volkanovski won that one. Yes, he did land takedowns
Yeah.
within fifth round or whatever, and the strikes are kind of close. But like Max Holloway is putting the
Max landed the better strikes. He dropped him. right?
Yeah, dropped him.
Yeah,
It was more aggressive, ended the better strikes, and the judges gave it to Volkanovski. And now it's weird because like there should be a trilogy, but like not really because Volkanovski is 1-2,
mhm,
and nobody really wants to see that again. So it puts Max
yeah,
Holloway in a weird position, right? And we
yeah,
have Ortega versus Korean Zombie next week. So
yeah.
who knows? Maybe the winner of that could be next in line because Max Holloway probably won't get another rematch.
Yeah, and the thing where I'm iffy with that is if Brian Ortega wins, I don't think he should get it. If Korean Zombie wins, I'm completely cool with him winning because Ortega hasn't fought since I watched him in person. So he's been off for I don't know how many years
It's
that
like
is.
2 years, yeah.
Yeah, just like there's no this guy wins one fight in 2 years. It's like a Dominic Cruz kind of thing. He wasn't even a champ. It'd be different if he was like a defending champ, like an
Mhm.
established champion. But so that's kind of weird in that sense. But I if Koreans, I'm saying if Korean Zombie gets by Ortega, I would like to see him get his shot for sure.
100%. So yeah, Korean
Yeah.
Zombie. I think that he had a title shot like a long time ago against Aldo, if I'm not mistaken. So it's been a
Okay.
while since he's had a title shot. But
He's been looking good too.
yeah, lately he's just been dominating
Mhm.
fools. So hopefully he can get that dub
Yeah.
against Ortega
Yeah,
because
man.
I didn't like the whole thing about Ortega slapping, was it Jay Park or
Oh,
whoever he slapped? I can't
yeah,
remember.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So that was some
But
weird shit.
when the Korean Zombie was with Jay Park and he went to the washroom and then that's when he bitch slapped him. And I
I
was like,
know.
that
And I'm
was
like, what are you
such
doing?
this guy. That was such a bad move on Ortega's part because now Korean Zombie literally wants to kill him, and
Yeah.
he's a scary man. He's a
Yeah.
scary dude.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man. So I'm
no, for
looking forward
sure.
to that one next week or in less than 2 weeks from now.
Something like that.
Anyways,
Yeah, yeah.
next we have 155 Khabib's division. We have Gaethje and Khabib fighting in less than 3 weeks, and we're gonna obviously provide a separate breakdown for that one. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, past Khabib Gaethje because we know that fight's booked. Like, assuming Khabib wins or Gaethje wins, who do you see next for both of them?
Habib. Oh my god, this guy's beat everyone. um, I honestly, I would love to see him fight like Tony Ferguson, to be honest,
Of
because
course.
you know how Dana White was saying like he has like a gift for Habib, like he has like a special gift if he gets past Gaethje. I don't know why, like they're his manager Ali Abdiz was saying it's not GSP, and I'm like, okay, if it's not GSP, it has to be. I don't know who else it would be. It has to be Tony because that's kind of Habib with him and his legacy. That's all he cares about, especially with his father. He wants to be 30-0. And I feel like if he doesn't face Tony, there's gonna be all that speculation to go, he was his toughest opponent, he never faced him. So I feel like saying it's a gift to means that it's like kind of not, he doesn't deserve it because he just lost. Obviously, he just got his face smashed in. But yeah, no, I would like to see Habib and Tony for the 19,000th time get booked. And then if Gaethje wins, I would love to see that McGregor fight. That'd be cool.
Yeah,
Those are my
Gaethje
picks for that.
McGregor would be cool. In terms of Khabib's next fight, if he does win, um, I don't know. Like, I mean, they've been talking about GSP, and Dana White said like, "Oh, I don't mind booking GSP versus Khabib."
Mm-hmm.
And there's been pictures of GSP lately. He's been looking hella slim. Like he's looking like really,
It's
really shredded.
crazy, man.
Yeah,
Doing
and like
backflips in a soccer field like it's nothing.
I
It's
know,
crazy.
and like I think he's 40 now, 39 or 40. Like
He's close
he's
to 40. If he's not
yeah.
40, he's 39 and a half.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, it's shocking that how like in shape and how fit and how like still bad of an athlete he is, or bad in a good way.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So,
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
um, yeah, I mean, if you can cut down to 155, I'd love to see that. If not, then Khabib versus Tony booked for the sixth time, and hopefully, fingers crossed that it happens.
Yeah, man.
And
I can't even cross any more freaking limbs for that
yeah,
fight to happen.
exactly. Cross your tongue.
Yeah, that's
So,
insane.
yeah. But so that's 155. So 170, we got Usman and Burns, which is booked, but it was just delayed for some reason because Usman wants more time. We don't know why, but whatever, we give him that. And other than Burns or Usman, who wins that fight, who do you want to see next for both of them?
Usman, that's a good one. Usman, I honestly would like to see, if Colby, let's say Colby fights Masvidal and just starches him or just dominates him. I'd love to see that rematch because Usman Covington, I feel like that doesn't get talked about enough. That fight was such an amazing fight. Those two just exchanging jabs like just in each other's face, and the fact they didn't wrestle at all like just blew my mind. The fact that just shows that they respect each other's wrestling credentials so much. And the trash talk building up, after Covington's last win, them like talking all that shit to each other. It was just so cringeworthy with Covington's dragon energy shit he was saying. So stupid. But yeah, no, Usman and Covington for sure. Burns. If Burns wins, I feel like unless he just knocks him out in 13 seconds, you have to give Usman the rematch, in my opinion.
Yeah, I feel like Kobe got sold short for that one because like right after that fight, I was actually hoping that they're going to give him a rematch because like yes, he did get TKO'd. Kobe keeps denying it, saying that Mark Goddard was a fake stoppage, whatever, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But like the thing is, Kobe actually does have a good point because I'm pretty sure Usman like got eye poked and he touched the other eye. I remember seeing the replay being like, wait, he didn't poke him in the eye, he poked him in the other eye, right?
Yeah.
That's an actual, I know, like, Kobe complains a lot, but there was some weird stuff that was happening in that fight where I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah. It was kind of iffy. And like the stoppage was like whatever, like I don't know.
Yeah.
The way it was, like the way position, like he kind of had like a turtle position for like a millisecond and then Mark Goddard just like stopped it right away.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. But I would love to see that rematch though, 100% for sure down the road. If not next.
Yeah, no, 100%. That one I'm excited for, and I really hope. I was kind of like, Burns, Usman, whatever. I guess like Gilbert Burns is a really good fighter, and it would be cool to see. But like, I really, really want to see Usman Covington too because the trash talk is going to be funny to listen to.
Yeah,
the whole like,
awesome.
You put 30% of the fans to sleep. That should kill me when Kobe said that too.
No, the best one was you have 30% of your hairline left. That's my favorite one. I was like, oh my god. That was so funny. I was like, oh
bro,
shit.
I love the trash talk. It just gets me going.
You have some good ones. Some good ones for sure.
So anyways, that's 170. And then 185, obviously we know what Adesanya just did to Costa. That was crazy.
Yeah.
And now Adesanya has been talking about Jones or Cannonier. I think with Jones it's probably unlikely that happens because Adesanya wants Cannonier to beat Robert Whittaker, but if Robert Whittaker beats Cannonier, then technically, I guess he said he's cool with facing Whittaker again and knocking him out for the third time, like he said, because he knocked him out twice in the first fight.
So funny.
Yeah. So I guess like, what do you think? Who do you think is going to win that fight first between Whittaker and Cannonier, and then what do you think about the next fight for Izzy?
Ooh, that's a good one. I don't know. I feel like I'm kind of liking Whittaker in that fight. Like I just want to see Cannonier's record really quick. Or whatever it is. Like I don't know. Cannonier is that crazy. He's the fact that he was a heavyweight like just blows my mind. That guy's just like unbelievable. He's had this resurgence in his career, starching these guys. I don't know. Like I would love to see Whittaker win though, but Israel ironically says that Jared's the dark horse of the division, which is funny.
Yeah.
I would love to see Whittaker win, maybe get that shot because I don't know, like other than like I don't like this division, like he's kind of cleaned out and there's no real clear cut contender. Like people want to say like see Izzy and Darren Till, and I feel like I don't know. That doesn't really make sense. Like Till's not the best right now. Like he's coming off of a loss too. He's basically scheduled to fight Jack Hermanson. But no, I got Whittaker in that fight, and I guess you give him the rematch. I don't know. There's no really other person you give it to. But yeah, no. Who do you have winning that one?
I have Whittaker winning. I think Whittaker is just more slick on the feet compared to Cannonier. Even though Cannonier is very talented, I think Whittaker is going to win that one by maybe a decision, kind of like a boring fight. I don't expect it to be anything too exciting. And then I think like Adesanya is going to be forced to fight Whittaker again, unfortunately, unless Adesanya decides to move up to another division and fight Jan or maybe John Jones, or he's talked about moving up to heavyweight and fighting Stipe. So we'll see, but honestly, I'm cool with anything that like comes his way.
Yeah. Like, honestly, like do like some catchweight with John Jones or some shit. Like fuck, like there's nothing really too exciting in that division because Robert Whittaker gave him the other than what's his
Gaslam.
name, Calvin Gaslam. Yeah, other
Yeah.
than Gaslam, like Whitaker, Gaslam's not getting a title shot obviously anytime soon.
Hmm.
So with that factoring that in, like Whitaker's the only one that makes sense. But yeah, I don't know, not too much else to say about that division.
Yeah. All right. So 205, Jan Blachowicz or whatever, Blachowicz,
Polish
the
power,
Polish
yeah,
power. I honestly don't know I don't know what this guy has done at 37, 38, whatever old he is, and had
yeah,
gone like a seven out of his last 8 fights he's won, and almost all of
yeah,
them by KO. And I'm like, dude, what is this
yeah.
guy
Polish
doing?
power is real, man.
Because like I think his
Crazy.
first 3 or 4 fights in the UFC was like 1-3.
Yeah, he was 1-4. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Then all of a sudden
Yeah,
he's just become this like
cool.
knockout artist. It's kind of like
I
Rumble
love
Johnson,
that.
where like earlier in his career he wasn't really like well known, but now all of a sudden he became this dangerous fighter. So speaking of Rumble
Yeah,
Johnson, actually, I would love to see Rumble come back at 205. I know he says he's gonna come back as a heavyweight. He did say he's returning to the USADA pool and he wants to fight in
yeah,
2021. So if Jan can fight Rumble Johnson, please Dana White make that happen. That would be so
yeah,
dope. Otherwise, 205, I don't really care who else they put up against Jan, to be
yeah.
honest.
I actually think he's coming back to light heavyweight because I remember listening to Below the Belt with Brendan Schaub, and he kind of was like surprised. He's like, oh, he's coming back to light heavyweight because he was so big, right? He was like, everyone assumed he was coming back to heavyweight. And I think he said he wants to drop down to light heavyweight. I don't know, like that would be so sick to see him come back. I feel like knowing the UFC, they would give him like a title shot right off the bat, even though he obviously doesn't really deserve it.
Right.
But with that division, the thing is like Jan Blachowicz, like Thiago Santos, he's ranked number 1, and Thiago Santos, I think he knocked Jan Blachowicz out too, which is crazy. I think that was his last loss, if I'm not
Yeah.
wrong. And a couple other guys beat him too that Jones, demolished. So it's interesting to see how that would go. Because Thiago and Glover Teixeira got canceled. If that fight doesn't happen, I would if I were to make a title fight, I would definitely do Thiago Santos and Jan Blachowicz for sure.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just gonna put my laptop on charge because it's low on battery, but I'm gonna keep
Yeah, no
talking.
worries.
So yeah, either of those fights are okay with me. I actually am hoping that you know, Jan gets a good fight because he has been on a good win streak. Hopefully, they can give him a big name and not some random ass fighter in the 205 division because it is getting kind of shallow, to be honest, right? Like it's a
Yeah,
lot of
I think it's the shallowest division in the UFC
yeah, and it's kind of
for the
like
men's.
yeah, I mean, it's not really John's fault because like he's beat whoever who they've given to him, but it's not really
Mhm.
looking exciting at 205. And with Jones gone, like there's nothing really to see because Jan is not the most exciting fighter.
Yeah, like Johnny Walker's ranked 9th, and that guy is not number 9. I'll tell you that right
Yeah,
now. This guy, yeah, I don't know. That guy's not very talented when it comes to
yeah,
fighting. I
super
don't know. That
athletic,
guy's
but like he's an idiot when he fights, you know?
Yeah, like he has like the weakest chin. Like I found this one this one video of him. It was like prior to him being in the UFC, and he literally got dropped like 13 times in like 30 seconds. It was so funny. It was so funny. It was like this guy looked like a fish out of water because he kept coming up and he just kept dropping again. Like I don't know. He has like such a weak chin, I find. Yeah, I don't know. That just shows how weak the light heavyweight division is. But yeah, I don't know. Polish power is real. Maybe he gets Thiago Santos left next. If not, freaking Rumble Johnson would be so sick.
Yeah, 100%. So last but not least, we have the heavyweight division. Stipe beat DC. That was so sad because
Mhm.
like I don't know, I didn't want to see DC go out like that. But then at the same time, like I really like Stipe because he's a great guy, fireman,
Yeah,
represents
yeah.
himself well. So either way, who won or lost this fight, I was gonna be sad for. But that's just
Mhm.
sports, right? Like somebody's gotta lose.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So in this fight the whole eye poke thing, what did you think about that? Did you think like it was a big thing, and did you think it affected
Well,
the fight?
oh yeah, it definitely affected the fight, especially for DC because DC said whichever eye it was that got poked, it literally you could just only see black.
Mm,
You couldn't see anything out of the eye, which is kind of ironic because DC is kind of known for poking guys in the eye. And he
yeah.
also poked Stipe in like the first round or second round or something like that. So, I don't know. It's kind of like payback's a bitch in a way. It's kind of just ironic the way that it happened.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, man, no, it definitely was a factor, but they both got poked in the eye though, so can't really say anything about that. Maybe Miocic just got him a little better.
Yeah. So who do you have next for Stipe? He's got a lot of options. There's Ngannou, there's Jones, there's Curtis Blades. It's pretty
So
much it, I guess.
I heard that supposedly they're trying to book. Ariel said this. They're trying to book Miocic and Ngannou for the Usman uh, that spot in December that kind of is vacant. But I don't think that's happening. I don't think Miocic wants that. But I
Mhm.
know Dana White wants Ngannou 100%. Because Curtis Blades is ranked number 2 and Ngannou's knocked that guy out twice. So
Right.
it has to be. It's obviously there's no chance. It has to be Ngannou.
Yeah, Ngannou's run through Curtis Blades twice, like with no issues. And
Yeah,
Stipe has said he doesn't want to fight Ngannou next, so maybe he wants the Jones fight next. I can understand why Stipe doesn't
yeah,
want to do it. He's like, I've already been through this, dude. Like, I don't want to do it again.
yeah. Like I showed how to
Um,
beat him.
Yeah, so I guess it doesn't really get him excited, but at the end of the day, if somebody wins enough fights, then they do deserve a rematch, right? So,
Yeah,
Stipe will probably fight Ngannou next, but I do want to see Jones versus Stipe. And the thing is, if that fight does happen, heavyweights take so long to fight. Like they fight like almost like maybe once a year, if
yeah.
twice rarely. So if we're looking at the timetable for John Jones, like when is he going to have a chance to fight like Stipe at heavyweight? He's going to have to fight somebody else because
Very
if
true.
Stipe and Ngannou happens at some point next year, maybe March or something, then we're not looking at Jones fighting for the belt till like the end of the year, pretty much in 2021, right?
That's
So
why, yeah, that's why there's Ariel was saying it's kind of like the perfect time to make that crazy super fight against Jones and Izzy because
yeah,
Stipe's most has to fight Ngannou next, and that's not going to happen probably in December. It's probably going to happen early next year sometime.
mm,
And Jones already he left the light heavyweight division, and it's either he fights. I don't know who else he would fight. It's either he fights Izzy or he just stays on the shelf for I don't know how long, like a while until we see him back in the octagon. So
yeah. So, anyways, that's pretty much it for the breakdown. I think we've gone through every division in the UFC
yeah,
for the current champions and who they should be facing next. Thank you guys for listening. We really appreciate it. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. And Michael with Dark Horse MMA. It's been fun, man. I hope we get a chance to do
been a
this again.
pleasure.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man. 100,000%. I would love to do this. It was awesome
Yeah.
meeting you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Daryl will obviously won't have technical difficulties next time. And then, yeah, we should do
yeah,
this often.
absolutely, man.
All right.
For
Thanks,
sure.
guys, for listening. We'll see you in the next one. See ya.
Thanks for listening to the MMA Brothers Podcast. We hope you enjoyed this episode, and if you did, please give us a follow on our socials. You can check out a description of this episode for more, but don't forget to connect with us on Instagram at MMA Brothers Pod. We'll see you on the next episode.